Hey, what's up? My name's Will. I go by Seg in Destiny. My favorite thing to do in Destiny is snipe, without question. So with Forsaken and the weapon slot changes coming up, there's going to be a lot more opportunities to actually use a sniper. And so just wanted to make this video to do kind of like a knowledge dump on everything I know about sniping. Like all the little tips and tricks that I use when I'm actually in the game. So I've got like part of my montage here playing in the background, so you guys can watch these clips as I'm talking here and then just decide for yourself if you think you should actually listen to me or not when talking about sniping. So like I said, I'm going to completely exhaust my knowledge on sniping in this video, so it's probably going to get long. And the way I'm going to do this is like present a tip and kind of explain it a little bit, and then show some clips of myself actually using that in game and break them down and actually slow the clip down and take the little slider, drag it across like frame by frame. So it can get long, and that might not be for you. You may just hate the way I'm doing this, but I feel like it's the best way I really know how to go about explaining this stuff, rather than just like beg some people to let me shoot them in the face in private matches for a few hours. So we're gonna start with like some real basic stuff and then move to what I consider some more advanced stuff. So this is all how I do it personally, so if you disagree with what I say, it's perfectly fine. You do things your way. You're welcome to listen to me, or you're welcome to just completely ignore me. So let's do it. Alright, so we're gonna get into the actual tips for how to snipe now. So the number one tip, most important thing, if you learn nothing else, learn this, is learn where head level is, how tall a guardian is, okay? Be able to zoom in, scope in, ADS, and put your cursor exactly at head level, okay? Because you want to hit people with a sniper in the face, one hit kill, precision damage. You don't want to hit them in the chest, not in the arm, not in the leg, not in the toe. You want to hit them in the face, okay? So 90% of your snipes, I promise you, are going to be this easy. Okay, you're gonna zoom in at head level, around a corner or through a doorway or something. You're not gonna move. Your cursor is not gonna move at all. Somebody's gonna walk out. You're aiming here, they're gonna walk out, put their face right where you're aiming. You're gonna pull the trigger and they're dead. Over half of your snipes, like 90% of your snipes, are gonna be this easy, and they should be. Okay, so this is the number one thing you need to learn before anything else. Learn this, and this actually applies with all weapons, but snipers, it's real important. So I'm going to show you an actual clip now. This first one's going to be from Xbox, so the 30 frames might hurt your eyes, and I'm sorry for that, but this is probably the best example I have of me just sitting there not moving and somebody actually walking in to a snipe. Okay, so I'll play it and then run it back and kind of explain it.
Take them like they grow from trees.
Alright, so pretty simple. Let's take it back to here. So if you look at my radar up here in the top corner, try to follow my mouse up there. So it's actually turning red here. So I know that there's a guy right here probably, and he's probably about to come this way. Okay, so the first thing I do is back up, get a little bit of space, and then I scope in, and if you see where I'm aiming, okay, so here's the floor, here's my reticle. This is the exact height of a guardian. This one I zoomed in almost perfectly to right on head level. Okay, so like I said, 90% of your snipes are going to be this easy, and they should be. So I can't tell you how many people just walk out from behind doors and they don't slide, they don't crouch, they don't hop, they don't do anything. They just walk out, they put their head on your sniper reticle, you pull the trigger, and they're dead. Alright, so if we move this forward a little bit where he starts coming out, so here he's out, okay? So if you look at my reticle, it's almost dead on with the center of his face, okay? So if we're aiming here, we're already right where his face is if he's going to keep walking this way. So we don't need to move. We just need him to take one or two more steps that way, right? So watch my reticle. It's not going to move at all. We're just going to let him come to us, okay? So not moving, not moving, not moving. Boom. As soon as he gets there, where I am, my reticle didn't move at all. As soon as he gets there, you just pull the trigger, they're dead. Super simple. So be able to scope in right here. Like, this is perfect height. Learn how tall they are and scope in. Just let them walk into it. Don't move at all, okay? Don't make it harder than it has to be. Alright, so this is another head level example clip. Here we're actually going to watch this poor golden gun get destroyed before he has a chance to fire. So let me play this, then we'll play it back, slow it down. Come on, Goldie. Alright, so for this one, I actually had a little help with the marker that he has here. So this marker will show up when someone gets tethered, or it used to show up when they got smoked or something like that, but I don't know if it still does that. But either way, if you see this marker show up, this marker's on their chest, okay? This marker is right here. So if you want their head, you've got to go up a little bit. So you can see that when I zoom in, I'm above this, okay? So this is going to be his chest, and this is going to be his head. So again, I'm aiming right here. Like, we can see these flames that he's popping golden guns, so I don't want to give him any leeway to actually get out and shoot this thing. So I'm aiming pretty close to the edge right here. And again, I'm pretty sure that I don't move in this one. I might move just a little bit because he walks past me. But you just want to be aiming here, right at their head, let them walk into it. So when he starts to come out here, I haven't moved, like, basically at all. So he comes out to it. I'm actually on it right here. I don't think I pull the trigger just yet. I think he gets a little bit past me, and I follow him and then pull the trigger. So again, I mean, I had the opportunity right here, right? So I was already aiming there. He walked into it, easy kill. Again, just if you know how tall they are, especially if you get some little cheat codes like this to help you out, it's super simple. You just lock in right there. Don't move at all. Let them do all the work for you. All right, next clip. This is, again, another head level clip, okay? And this one also incorporates some elevation changes into it. So I'm going to play this, and then we'll slow it down like normal.
30 seconds remaining. Fight until there's nothing left.
All right, so if we bring this back about right here. So you guys probably recognize this map, Shores of Time, or I don't even know what it's called in Destiny 2. It's Shores of Time. Anyway, this river here, you guys probably know this lane, the river from the cave to the little doorway there in the spawn. Super popular area. People love to just sit here and poke with scout rifles and stuff. It's also a really good lane to snipe in. So again, radar's red to my right. So I'm going to slide down here and zoom in. Okay, so right here is about where I settle in to the zoom, and we can see just a little bit of this guy. And again, I'm almost perfectly at head level here, ready to hit this guy. Okay, with the first shot, I actually miss. It should have been a super easy shot, so I just pulled it past him, and I missed. So what he does here, he saw that I shot, so he ducks back behind this corner. So what I'm going to do here is just reposition the sniper at head level again. Okay, so we're going to settle in about right here. So I can see him. I can see that his head's going to come this way. And once we settle back into head level, he's going to walk out again and just walk right into it. So from this point right here, when I settle in at head level, I don't actually move anymore. I let him walk into it. So that one's super easy. Now over here, if you pay attention, when I start running up here, so we can see there's an elevation change here, getting quite a bit higher. Okay, so I'll run over here. So now I'm above where I was just aiming. And then if you go right here, this is also a little bit higher than where you are now. So we're getting even higher in the elevation changes. So when I scope in, I'm actually at like head level relative to where I am, which is going to put me way over the top of this guy, right? Like way too high for this. So this is a mistake on my part, basically not paying attention to these elevation changes, not being able to scope in right here. So I should be quite a bit farther down. But all you have to do if you do this is try to settle it, try to bring it down to head level again, right? So we bring it down to here where his actual head is, and then we're just going to make a quick little flick to the left and pull the trigger. right? So you want to try to make things as smooth as possible. If you're not at head level, you want to try to get it there first, settle it there, and then make your minimal movements, whether it be flicks or drag or anything like that. Try to settle in at head level and then give a little small movement to actually pull the trigger on their head. Alright, this next clip is actually one of my favorites, and this is one of my favorite things to do in Destiny when sniping. And I've got two clips that give examples of it. It's another head level thing, but it's a lot better than that. I'll show you guys, and then we'll play it back slowly.
Just sort them. Yo, they're up here behind us,
This is wonderful.
That was nice.
Alright, so if we bring it back, so about right here. So I've been looking at this guy, right, and he starts poking me with the Mida. So I zoom out, and my teammates are quite a bit a ways away from me. So I let them know that the guys are behind us, and I start running away, okay? So as I'm running this way, if we watch the radar, right, so this radar is turning from my right to the bottom, and it's going to come to the bottom even more. So what that means is that guy that was just shooting at me is chasing me now, okay? So all I need to do is get up here, get a good distance, turn around, and zoom in at head level. Alright, so we're going to scope in, and I settle. I'm actually like a little bit low right around his chest, but this is about where I settle in here. And scope in at head level, and when they come around the corner, you pull the trigger. So this guy was like super anxious to kill me. He chased me all this way, and then he walks around the corner and gets domed right in the face. So I love this. This is one of like the most satisfying things you can do. So again, when I actually settle in here at about head level right there, then it's just a quick flick to the right to get that off. Okay, so I scoped in a little low, settled in to head level about right there, and then a quick flick to the right. So I've got one more. So we're gonna have another guy chasing us here. Alright, so if we bring this back, so I'm running away because there were tons and tons of people in that lane that I was looking at, right? And we can see my radar. This guy's actually like right on top of me. I think he punches me here. He should have killed me, but I was about one bullet short of death. But this guy's definitely chasing me, right? So first thing I do is get some distance and then actually get a little bit of cover and find myself an area where I know that he's about to come down and I can already be aiming there, right? So you need a good amount of distance between you two that you'll have to like determine yourself. You'll have to get used to feeling that out. So get a little bit of distance when they're chasing you, and then just turn around, scope in. So I scoped in expecting him to be a little bit higher, but I'm actually really close. So this is one of those things again where I'm not perfect on his head. He doesn't walk into it as I don't move, but me scoping in and knowing where he was gonna be or being really close to where he was gonna be, it makes it just a super quick little flick down that is super easy. So yeah, from here we just get a little flick down, and again, like this is one of the best feelings when somebody's chasing you so hard, they want you dead so bad, and then as soon as they get a little glimpse of you, they're dead, just like that. Alright, tip number 2. This one is not as easy as aiming at head level and letting somebody walk into it, but it's really close. So this one is going to be about how to shoot people out of the air, okay? So people jump in this game a lot, and when they jump, they're floating ducks just ready to be shot, okay? So it's going to be super simple. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And the reason it's so easy is that when you jump, you become predictable, okay? When you jump, you're going to come back down. That's how gravity works, even in a space magic game, okay? So when somebody jumps, they go like this, right? They go up, they hit an apex, they come back down. So as soon as they hit that apex, you can easily see how they're going to come back down just based on gravity and based on how you know this is going to work. The exceptions are going to be things like Dawn Blades that can just infinitely fly up and up and up and never come back down. Also, the Warlocks that can do like the Icarus dodge in midair. And then maybe Hunters that have Stompies on, they can go up and up and up again. But when they're actually coming back down, it's pretty easy. But like going up, it's hard to tell. Also, if they bring something back like Twilight Garrison, it's going to be a little bit harder on that. But most of the time, when somebody jumps up and they hit that apex, it's so easy to predict how they're going to come down. And it's one of those shots where you aim and let them come into it and pull it.
Oh, look what you have.
All right, so let's take a look at this. We grabbed some sniper ammo here. Again, take a look at the radar. Up in the left corner is turning red. All right, so we're gonna look this way, and the cheese wheel here is blocking out the bottom half. So the only way, if somebody's gonna come at me, the only way they're coming is up top. All right, so I back up. We see King jumping, okay? And there's his double jump. And we're following him the whole way. If you watch my barrel's actually following him the whole way as he goes up. And that's again that reason that when we scope in, we want to be as close as possible so that we don't have to do much work, right? So if I were to zoom in right here and then try to like find him up there, as soon as I zoom in, I lose a lot of peripheral vision. So I'm probably not gonna be able to see him up top, right? So we're gonna take the barrel, follow him all the way up to about the apex, and then we're gonna zoom in, okay? So about here, he's reached about as high as he can get. So I'm gonna bring my sniper in line with his body, okay? And then we're gonna settle in right about here, okay? So why here? We're obviously not on his head, right? So I don't wanna chase him up there because by the time I get up here, he's probably gonna start falling and then I'm gonna be chasing him down, and that's not gonna be a good shot. Also, he's got a sniper on me trying to pull off a mid-air snipe. That's not gonna work. But anyway, so we're gonna settle right here with our reticle. So this is on his elbow, about stomach level, okay? And the reason I settle right here is because it is in line with his body, and as soon as he starts falling, his head's gonna fall right into this. And again, it's one of those things where I don't have to move, okay? He's just gonna fall into it, and as soon as his head hits there, I'll just pull the trigger, get an easy kill. He does all the work for me, okay? So we bring it in line, we settle in right about there, and then he falls just a little bit, right? So you don't see the reticle move. He falls just a little bit. We pull the trigger right as soon as his head gets in there, and that's an easy kill. So these, when somebody jumps, all you have to do is look at the arc they're on, watch them, like figure out how they're gonna come down. Should be super predictable. In this case, he was straight on, right? So he was straight on from us, so he's gonna come back straight down. This was about as easy as it gets. He jumped straight up, he's coming straight down. There wasn't an actual arc that we had to follow across the screen, which is good, but that will happen sometimes. So super simple, just watch them jump. As soon as they hit the apex, get ready for them to come down. Aim where they're gonna be when they come down, pull the trigger as soon as they fall into it. Minimum work on your part, and just let them do all the work for you. Super easy. All right, last couple inner clips here. These are actually going to incorporate another tip that I want to throw in, and this goes back to like when we're picking snipers, what perks are we looking for? And so I said I'm looking for snapshot sights because I want to zoom in really quick, pull the trigger, zoom out. Okay, so ideally, in a perfect world where you hit the perfect snipe every time, you're going to zoom in, hit their head, zoom out. Like you're in and out of your scope like that, just as fast as you can be. Okay, so we want to get used to zooming in, pulling the trigger, zooming out, and moving, okay? Because when you're a sniper, a lot of the times you expect a sniper to like sit in the back, kind of stay where he is, stand still, and like hard scope people from a distance, right? So as soon as somebody sees where a sniper is, they're gonna be like, oh, well, I'm gonna go get that guy because I don't want him fucking sitting in the bag like just picking at me with the sniper. So I'm gonna go get him. So every time I take a shot, I try to move. I try to get out as quickly as possible. And that's especially true if you're gonna play aggressive with a sniper and you're gonna do like some close range snipes. So let's take a look at that here. This is another snipe where someone's in air. This also incorporates some head level stuff, and then it also incorporates zooming in, shooting, zooming out, move. Okay.
I need a hunter like you with the
Alright, so I'll stop it here before King kills me. We don't need to display that. Alright, so we're chasing Maple here, which is actually Beard. He changed his name. So I actually start here by taking an in-air snipe at him because I want to be cool. One of the things that's going to happen when you take a shot in the air is that your bullet's going to go who knows where, right? But we can actually slow this down and see where the bullet goes. So I'm actually aiming like really close to his head, and as I move across, I pull the trigger, and then we see here that the bullet goes to his right. So that's probably because I'm drifting to the right and the bullet's gonna go that way. But I'm pretty sure that when you're shooting in air, like it's kind of random where your bullet's gonna go. Sometimes you can jump in the air and you can aim at somebody's head and just dome them easily, and then sometimes you can jump in the air and shoot and it's like it goes behind you, like it's some weird shit. Anyway, so what I do here, quick scope in, shot, and then I'm out and I'm moving to cover, right? So I take a big hit here. So as soon as I hit the ground right here, I'm out of my scope and I'm moving to get to cover. So then we come back for a second shot, and I scope in, actually almost like perfect head level for where he would be if he were in the same spot, if he didn't move, right? So this is the last place I saw him. If he were just standing here and he hadn't moved at all, I would probably be aiming at his head, and this would be an easy shot. But we see that he's in the air, way up here. So I have to chase him, but what I do is try to get it up here, okay? And you can see the reticle actually stops right here. So you probably know why we stop here short of his head height, because he's falling at this point, right? So we don't want to chase up. We don't want to chase up to his head, because by the time we get up here, he's going to be down here. So we settle in with the reticle right here. Again, about chest level, this seems like a pretty consistent thing that I do, is right here, mid-stomach, lower chest level. And he's going to fall. But again, I'm not directly in line with his body, so I'm going to have to make a movement, a quick flick to the right to actually hit this. And he's taking another shot at me. So already in my head, I'm thinking, pull the trigger, get out, like, because I don't want to die. So as soon as I pull this trigger, he comes down. I do a quick flick to the right, and I just keep moving. Like that flick to the right, I kept my cursor going, and I'm already getting behind this cover again, like preparing for another fight. So like at this point, it probably hasn't registered that I actually hit him, so I'm still trying to move and cover and get ready for the next fight. Okay, so very important thing to do. I think I have another one pretty similar to this. So this is another fight with Beard here, similar to the same thing. So I'll play this back for you one more time so you can actually see it. Alright, so if we stop this, go back here to where we actually see him. So again, what I'm going to do here, when I see him under me, I'm going to follow him with my barrel, right? And I'm going to try to wait until I'm pretty stabilized to where he is on the screen. So I'm aiming about his height, but I'm going to be like off to the right here. So I'm following him the whole way with my barrel until I think I can zoom in. This first shot I miss just by that much. Alright, so the first shot we miss. But the important thing is that as soon as I take that shot, I scope out and move. Okay, I'm already moving here to the right, sliding and getting ready for the next shot. So then we see him jump. You can see from the ground here from where he is on the ground, from where my barrel is pointing towards the ground, that as soon as he jumps, I follow him with the barrel before I zoom in, right? So we follow him, zoom in. I actually zoom in ahead of him. So this time I'm trying to predict where he's going to be. So I zoom in ahead of him, and I'm trying to hope that he's going to come this way and that his head's going to be here. His head's not quite there. So I move it up to head level, it looks like, and I actually chased way past him. Not way past him, but I chased past him, which is not really good. But I get up to head level, and then it's a quick flick to the right. Okay, so again, I'm trying to settle in to a certain point and then make a quick small movement. I don't do the thing where you're chasing him, where you go up here, over to here, and chase him the whole way, right? So I try to settle into a point and make a quick movement. And someone else might tell you otherwise, but for these clips, it seems to have worked out for me. This is something that I do pretty consistently. So as soon as I get to that head level, it's a quick flick to the right, and then again, as soon as I pull that trigger, I'm out of the scope and I'm moving to get behind cover here. Okay, very important to do. So scope in, pull the trigger, scope out, move. Very important to move. So in this clip, we've got two shots. One's going to be in air, and then one's going to be at head level. Somebody just walking around the corner. So I'll just play this. He hit you with that fighting line.
Apparently.
Like a line of thralls.
Is there a tractor cannon user? Yes or no?
All right, pretty easy. So if we go back here, this shot was actually like pretty quick, and this is how it's going to be like after you get used to doing this and you practice a lot. So this guy's jumping in the air, and you're going to be able to just quickly scope in and actually get to where he's going to be. So again, we settle in right here about the bottom of his chest, his upper stomach, and we're going to let him fall into it. So we don't go all the way up. Just you're gonna have to get really fast at like predicting that arc that they're falling down in, that they're moving through the air in, and scoping in and getting it right there and letting him fall into it. So from here, I'm pretty sure the reticle doesn't move at all, and we let him fall into it. And then immediately after that, I'm out of the scope, I'm moving, we're looking at the radar, we see this red line right here ahead of us, and then we've got this doorway that we can just easily scope in at head level and hope that somebody walks out from that doorway, right? So as soon as I see that red dot on the radar, I can actually see his gun firing too, like he's using the Prometheus lens. I'm just going to scope in. So this is actually way too high for head level, but I'm bringing it back down and settle in right here. And I believe this is almost perfect. Yeah, so if he's coming out, this is almost perfect head level. He's just going to walk right into it. So you see that I don't move at all. I actually give him like a lot of leeway here. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Maybe when you start out, try to give yourself more leeway, but I would have actually put the reticle like over here and just given him a couple steps out from behind that door, just so that he doesn't get a good shot off on you. But we don't move at all. He walks right into it for a headshot. So those things right there are going to cover the basics of sniping, and those are going to cover the majority of your snipes in game. So one, finding head level, and two is actually shooting people out of the air. So if you stop right there, if you learn nothing else and you master those two, you're going to be a good sniper, okay? Now, if you want to take it up a level and get into some more advanced stuff, we're going to talk about that now. So I'm going to show a few clips on how to do that. And the way that I consider myself being like more advanced sniping is being able to be really aggressive with the sniper, being able to hit people close range, being able to do really quick shots, even when I scope in and I'm not very close to their head, being able to do like flicks, drag scopes, quick scopes, even no scopes sometimes. So I'll talk about all those things now. The really important thing about trying to be aggressive with the sniper is that when you zoom in, you're as close to them as possible, and then you're making a very quick shot, a very quick flick towards their head, or even like a full drag across your screen towards their head, but you're making it very quick. So you're zooming in really quick, you're pulling the trigger, you're zooming out, and you're moving very quickly. Because you're in close range, you don't have a lot of leeway to make a mistake. So here's a clip kind of showing that. The name of the game. Alright, so this clip is from my stream. It's not that high quality because I downloaded it off Twitch. But what happens here is we're running down the middle here, and right about here, a guy comes out from around that corner, and I've already made my mind up that I'm turning left. So I slide, and then I have to slide back and get over here to try to shoot him, okay? So the real important thing is that your barrel needs to be pointed at them as much as possible while you're unscoped, so that when you zoom in, you don't have to make that much movement. So I'm turning the barrel back towards the middle of the screen as much as possible before I zoom in. So if we look right here, he's almost perfectly in the center of my screen for where I'm going to zoom into, so I should be really close when I actually ADS here. So we happen to zoom in on his chest, and he's already thrown a grenade at us. So again, like I was saying, we have no time at all for mistakes here. We've got to make a quick shot, get out, and start moving. So we're not on his head, but we're really close, so it's just a quick flick up. You make that quick shot, you zoom out, and you get out of the way. So the quick flick, the headshot, then we zoom out, and we're out of the way here. So this next clip is, again, some very fast shots, some more advanced stuff like a drag scope, and then kind of a quick scope type shot. Just let me play this and I'll show you guys what's actually happening here.
Victory is yours. That shut them down.
Alright, so let's talk about this. So for the first one, this is a flick shot. It's almost a drag. So we see this guy here, and when I scope in, he's actually right there. This would have been a headshot, but I wasn't exactly prepared to shoot at that exact moment. So he runs past me a little bit, but again, no matter what here, I'm just going to take a quick shot, flick towards where I think his head is. Again, it's a trust your instincts thing. So a lower sensitivity mouse or DPI kind of helps here because you have less room for error here. You don't want to move your mouse a little bit and just be off your screen completely, right? So we're just going to trust our instincts, a little flick up, and as soon as we pull the trigger, we're out of the scope, heading towards the next fight, right? So this next guy comes in, and he's actually jumping in the air. And what I do here is I'm following him with the unscoped barrel, if you can see. So as soon as I get a line on him, I keep him in the middle of my screen as much as possible while I'm unscoped. So I'm completely following him here until we get to a place where I feel like it's pretty stable and I can actually zoom in and make a shot. So with this, whether I actually hit him or not, the likelihood of that is going to depend on a few different things. So one, it's going to depend on me being on the ground. So if I'm in the air, my shot is going to go who knows where. It's pretty random if you take a snipe shot in air where it's actually going to go. The other thing is that we want this guy to be in like a pretty stable place, not moving too much. So that's obviously going to be at the apex of his jump, right? So we're trying to wait till he does his little double jump and he gets up to the top, and then he's going to stay there for a second. And while he's there, that little split second, we have a chance to actually hit him while he's standing still in the air, basically. And the third thing is going to be where I actually zoom in. So I want to zoom in as close to him as possible. So here he's about to hit the apex. When he pulls his golden gun, it's going to push him up a little bit. And then we all know that split second of golden gun where you're like dead to rights, just floating in the air, waiting for somebody to pick you out of the air, right? So as soon as we see him get stable, I'm hitting the ground right here. He's hitting the apex of his jump. And then I've followed him with my barrel unscoped. So now I'm going to actually scope in, try to get as close to him as possible. I'm not super close, but I'm within range here to make like a quick flick down and actually try to hit him. So all it takes is trying to get down there really quick. And again, this is one of those things where if a golden gun sees you and he aims at you, you're dead, right? So as soon as you pull the trigger, you want to unscope, get out of there, dodge if you have it, slide away, head towards cover. So this clip is from private matches, and this one actually incorporates quite a few different things. So it incorporates a little bit of head level with the drag scope. It incorporates some like really aggressive sniping with some close range stuff, and then also like a tiny flick on someone in air. So let me just play this. Alright, so if we bring it back to about here. So here I'm zooming in, trying to get about head level. I'm actually a little low, as you can see from here. And Sirius runs all the way across my screen. So he's running all the way across. I'm not at head level, but again, I'm going to try to make a quick shot here. And no matter what, I'm going to pull the trigger and try to get as close as possible. But the key is that it's got to be quick, and you've got to make a really smooth drag across your screen from here to where you feel like his head is. And the more you practice this, the better you'll get at it. This is kind of just like a trust your instinct thing. Like, pull your mouse all the way across your mouse pad, pull the trigger when you think it's right. So as he's going, we're just going to make a drag all the way across here. Pull the trigger on his head. This next shot we miss because I try to make a flick up, and he actually backs up a little bit. So we don't hit the headshot there. But if we just go all the way up here to the next one. So this is going to be a close range one. Here, this guy is jumping over the top of me. So again, like I was saying, is that when you're going to play aggressively and try to snipe someone really close, your barrel has got to be pointed at them before you even scope in. So the important thing here is that as he's jumping in the air, I'm not trying to scope in right now and track him through the air, because I'm going to lose him just due to losing peripherals when you actually zoom in. So with the barrel unscoped here, I'm going to follow him as much as I can until he hits the ground, and then I feel like I can actually zoom in. So when we actually zoom in here, we're really close to his head, but he starts moving off to the right. So I, again, have to make like a quick flick over to the right. The important thing is that we're following him while we're unscoped until we feel like we can zoom in really close to him and make a quick shot. So the last one, this guy's jumping in the air, and we actually go up and track him a little bit. And I went above him because I assumed that he would be going higher, right? If he had double jumped, he would probably be going up, but instead of like a full double jump up, it looks like he just used a little boost to go forward. So he's lower than I expected because I was going to come up here and let him just fall right down into my reticle. But since we go above him, we're actually perfectly in line with his body anyway. So we just want to make a quick flick down. Just again, quick decisions. And as soon as I pull the trigger, you can see I'm out of the scope and heading for this cover here, just in case I miss, getting ready for the next fight. So one of the ways I practice being really aggressive with the sniper is anytime I'm in PvE, like patrolling around or public events or anything, I have the sniper out all the time, and I'm doing quick, really close range shots at the enemies. I'm sliding around a lot, I'm trying to scope in, and no matter where I scope in, I'm doing a quick pull, drag, flick shot towards where they are, and I'm scoping out and I'm getting ready for the next shot. Doesn't matter if I miss, like I don't really care if I miss, but I'm trying to hit them as much as possible, obviously. So you can do this until you get really consistent with it, and I'll show you guys just like a little quick practice session of what I'm doing here. So we're just sliding around, zooming in, and no matter where we are, we're gonna pull the trigger, trying to make a quick little adjustment. So zooming in, the closer I am to him, the better. But no matter what, we're just gonna make a quick flick and pull the trigger. This clip here is it's a good one that demonstrates like predicting where people are going to be, and also being like really aggressive and getting close range with somebody. This is from my stream, so the quality is not that great. Just want you guys to appreciate how much of a dork I look like right here with my yellow tinted glasses on and my big ass headphones. Anyway, let me play this and then we'll talk about it. Alright, so first thing here, grab some heavy ammo, and then we'll pay attention again, just to reiterate this, of where I actually scope in. So if you guys know this one, I think this map is Altar of Flame. This spot over here is like a really popular spot where people like to camp with graviton and whatnot. So I scope in over here at head level looking for someone, and I don't find anybody there. But what happens is I get a little hit marker on my cursor, or on my reticle right there. If you notice, I get a little hit marker, and you probably didn't see it in the clip, but I threw a smoke a little bit before, like over here. So this hit marker goes off, and I'm like, oh, somebody probably hit my smoke. So I scope out, and we see the little 9 and 8 right here. So this guy is right here. We know exactly where he is. He walked into my smoke, so he got a little bit hurt. And he's also probably slowed down from that smoke, so he's not going to move if we act quickly here. So I slide around this corner, and this is going to be a close range shot, and I know it. But I back up, I build a little speed, slide around this corner, and I'm trying to point my barrel at him and get him in the middle of my screen right before I scope in, like we already talked about. So once I scope in, again, not exactly on his face, but we're really close enough that we can make a quick flick up to hit him here, okay? And then as soon as I pull the trigger, I'm out of the scope, I'm away. I'm getting away. And then it registers that I actually hit him. So I'm going to come back for the next fight, and I can see my radar is a little bit red here, and we know that on this map, a very popular area are these stairs right here. There's almost always someone standing on these stairs, right? And I have like a perfect little angle here where I can get back in this cover really fast if I need to. So I'm going to immediately scope in to these little stairs, and nobody happens to be on those stairs, but just so luckily here, this guy's jumping up to B, jumps right into my reticle. I don't even move, right? I'm scoping in about head level from these stairs, and this guy happens to be jumping up here just because B is a popular spot, and this spot that I'm aiming is a popular spot. So get used to knowing where people are going to be, and like trying to actually predict where they're going to be, and then you'll get easy shots like this. So again, as soon as I scope in, I don't even move, and he jumps right into it. So 2 quick snipes just like that. Super simple. Alright, on this one here, I'm going to actually talk about quick scopes a little bit. So these are actually really difficult to pull off, but they're going to be a lot more accurate than like trying to no scope someone, just pulling your trigger randomly. So the key here again is following someone with your barrel unscoped, trying to keep them in the center of your screen, especially their head. So you have a reticle here because we're jumping, but as soon as we hit the ground, we're actually going to lose this reticle, you see. So we don't have it anymore, so we don't know where the center of our screen is, and that's something that you have to get used to. Being able to move your mouse around and know where the center of your screen is without having a dot there to help you. You can put a dot on your monitor if you want. Some people will call it cheating, but you do whatever you want. So the key here is that we're going to follow them unscoped. Let me play this real quick, and then we'll break it down.
Hunters like you.
Alright, so you saw that I tried to do like an actual scoped in shot really close here at the beginning, and I missed because I'm getting shot, and the flinch took my scope way up there. So I'm going to back around this corner, and I jump in the air. But notice that as I jump in the air, I'm pointing down. So my reticle is trying to stay on his head, or no reticle actually, but the center of my screen. I'm trying to keep it on his head as much as possible, even though I'm jumping. So he's staying on the ground, watch my barrel, try to follow his head as I'm coming down here. And then as soon as I hit the ground and he comes around the corner, I'm going to scope in super quick. And I actually pull the trigger before we even get fully scoped in, it looks like. But we're right there on his head because we were able to follow him with the barrel of our gun, having no reticle anyway. Alright, hope you're not tired of me yet. I know this is getting long, but we got 2 more clips left, and this is getting into quick scope / no scope territory. So let me play this clip here. This is going to be another quick scope right here. All right, so we actually trade on this one, but I want you to pay attention because I'm actually still using all the things that I just talked about, even though we were basically point blank with this guy here. So we're picking up the heavy ammo, and I can see that my radar is turning red in this area. So I'm gonna come out of this little door over here and be getting ready to shoot. So he's probably gonna be, it looks like he's far away from me, but as we go, the radar is going to get a little more red. So now we're thinking that he's going to actually be really close. So when we come around the corner here, we can see him right here. So again, the thing we need to do is get his head in the center of our screen as much as possible before we even scope in and then click to actually pull the trigger. So this is a real quick adjustment. As soon as we slide here, I see him. And then we're going to make a small left turn and also a little bit down to put his head in the center of our screen. So right there is about right. And then we're going to scope in just a little bit and pull the trigger really quick. So this is one of those things where he's got a shotgun. We have basically no time to react here, so we got to be really quick. So try to put his head in the center of your screen as much as possible. You're not really paying attention to like the tip of your gun because that's not in the center of your screen, that's a little bit off to the right. So you should be able to just feel where the center of your screen is and then quick scope in, pull the trigger, and get out and move. But we actually trade on this one. So this is another little PvE practice section that I'll show you that also incorporates a quick scope. Alright, so if you're paying attention, I zoom in here. I'm sliding around, just shooting these Cabal, trying to hit them in the head as much as possible. So I actually missed this first shot. If you notice, I zoom in like way over here, and I do a little flick down, and I miss. So again, if you miss, don't let it bother you. Get out of your scope, get right back in your scope, pull the shot again, just make it quick. Eventually, you'll start hitting these. So we actually hit a headshot on this guy. Come over here, this guy, we don't hit a headshot. He's got a shield on anyway. And then this guy, after we reload, decides to jump across our screen. So I see him floating this way, right? So I'm already pointing about here. This is about the center of my screen already. So watching him float, I'm just gonna kind of predict his arc. And right here, I'm gonna try to put this little dot, this little area right here where my mouse is. That's probably where his head's gonna be after he goes up and starts to come back down. This is probably where his head's gonna be on his arc. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to put the center of my screen there, even though I have nothing telling me that that's the center of my screen, and then try to do a quick scope. And it's just practice. Just do it anyway, pull the trigger. So here we go, we followed him down and managed to get that quick scope off. We barely scoped in at all. If you see our scope, it's here. We barely got in. But as long as you've touched your right mouse button a little bit, Destiny's gonna count that as you scoping in, so it's not gonna just shoot your bullet like anywhere randomly. Alright, last clip. So this one's about no scoping. So the thing about no scoping is that when you shoot a sniper unscoped, it's kind of random where your bullet's gonna go, and it's really tough to actually hit no scopes. And the trick to actually hitting them is thinking of your sniper as a shotgun. Okay, so what you want to do is shove the barrel down their throat, basically. Like, get it as much in their face as possible and pull the trigger. Again, trying to put them in the center of your screen, even though you don't have a reticle, trying to feel where that is. Pull the trigger, and then always follow it up with a melee, just in case you body them instead of headshot. You should be doing the same thing with the shotgun anyway. So I have a clip to show you. Alright. So we're playing Supremacy here, and it looks like I really want that crest that's sitting right there. But on my radar, we've got a guy that's about to hop in here, okay? So I'm just gonna keep my sniper out and use it as a shotgun anyway. So as soon as I'm gonna try to time my run in here with his run in here so that I can just shove my sniper down his face, right? So we're gonna slide in, and we actually see him jump up. So as soon as he jumps up, I'm trying to find him in the center of my screen and get as close to him as possible. And right here, even though I'm invisible, it's kind of hard to see, but here's the tip of my barrel. So it's pointing at his face, and I mean, we're point blank range with him. We're shoving it down his throat. So I pulled the trigger, and then I managed to headshot him, but I also followed up with a melee. If you see right there, I'm stabbing my knife at him just in case. So get in the habit of shoving it down their throat, follow up with the melee just in case. No scopes are really hard to hit. The closer you are, the better chance you have of actually hitting them. So that's everything I know about sniping. Those are all the tips I have for you. Practice those things. Start out with head level, then get used to like hitting people out of the air, and then just try to be really aggressive with your sniper. Pull it out in PvE. Try to shoot acolytes or whatever, hive in the face. Slide around, be really aggressive with it. Try to make very quick shots. Trust your instincts. So hope that helped you out. If you want to practice this, just hit me up and I'll go into private matches with you and let you shoot me in the face a little bit. See ya.